This is my persuasive speech week 8, my final, and it's going to be on Donald Trump and actually on the presidential outcome of the election. According to the New York Times, the opinions pages by the editorial board on November 25th, 2016, the Donald Trump will take office as president facing a tsunami of litigations over his business practices and personal behavior. He may have settled the fraud suits involving Trump University, but at least 75 other lawsuits are underway against him or his companies. According to USA Today, and it's under investigation and found more than 3,500 lawsuits over the past 3 decades, ranging from contract disputes to real estate battles to harassment and discrimination claims. In short, Mr. Trump could find himself in a near constant stream of court fights while he tries to focus on running the country. Um, I want to first start by saying this. It's a lot of things that have come up because of his being elected president of the United States. I'm not going to base my opinion on anybody else's, and I'm not going to state my opinion or how I feel about this year's election. The president pro quo has been selected, and we all really have got to learn how to live with it. Do we think that a lot of things he said and done are right? No. But also there have things that Ms. Clinton has said and done that are not right as well. So we can't, a lot of it's based off of one person being a certain party, being Democrat, or someone being Republican. Both Republican and Democrats do things wrong. What we need to do now is come together as a nation and really try to become one under the law and try to get along. There's enough racial tension, there's enough discrimination, there's enough hatred already going on in this world, and we don't need the election or who becomes the president to add to it. We've really got to learn how to become Americans. There's not one set group of Americans that are better than the other ones. Yes, there's poor and there's rich. And do I think the rich cater to the rich? A lot of times they do. Do I think the poor get left behind or get swept under the rug? Yes, they do. But like I said, we've got to learn how to come together and work together and really try to put all the negative things behind us so that we can focus on what's positive, and who knows what this man may bring to the table. I just really pray that we all come to an agreement on what we're going to do as a nation to progress and not degress. According to CNN Politics, reported on Friday, October the 14th, 2016, by Maeve Reston, Donald Trump was running out of ways to win. It said Donald Trump cast himself in almost Masonic terms Thursday in Florida, describing the presidential race as a struggle for the survival of our nation, and vowing to win the White House despite all the slings and arrows being hurled in his direction. But 25 days before the election, Trump's path to the 270 electoral votes needed to capture the presidency is looking more and more impossible by the day. As states he once said he'd flip from blue to red increasingly slip out of his reach. Meanwhile, reliably red states threaten to turn purple. Trump's odds of win were spiraling downward days before the 2005 Access Hollywood recording that surfaced last week and depicted him bragging about his ability to grope women as a perk of his celebrity. Since then, his support has collapsed, particularly among women. A new NBC Wall Street Journal poll showed Clinton with a 9-point lead, and a new National Fox poll released Thursday night that had Clinton at 45% and Trump at 38% in a four-way race. In the most stunning development of the week, Trump and Clinton were tied at 26% in Ruby Red, Utah, with virtually unknown independent candidate Evan McMullin closing in third place with 22%, according to a survey by Y2 Analytics. Now, the thing that gets me here is the fact that this is who is going to be our president, and he bragged, and I actually saw a report on this, and my mother and I were sitting in her den, and we actually looked at each other when it was said how he groped the women. And I was just appalled because I've never heard anything as grotesque. And for it to be nationally syndicated on television by the person who is going to be our chief in command is really astounding to me. And it makes for a very distasteful factor. It has no class about it. And I think something really should be said about it as far as him coming up and apologizing and just trying to really clear the air on that. I know a lot of men don't see themselves as being able to deal with a woman in leadership, and I think that's more or less the reason why Miss Clinton lost. And there's pastors right now today that feel like women should not be ministers. And that's their opinion. I think who's ever willing to do God's will, that's who he allows to be in a position to spread his word. So I don't see anything wrong with it. But I think more or less a lot of people were for Mrs. Clinton, but they felt like a woman should not be leading the country. I could very well be one of those women myself who feel like a woman should not be leading the actual country. But who knows what's in store? So I can't really say. And also, just before the allegations this week from growing number of women who have accused him of unwanted sexual advances, I mean, it's just devastating as to what went on, what's being said, what he's done. There's just got to be some kind of way that it can all be rectified. But in my closing, as a fellow American citizen, all I ask is that we come together, pray for each other, pray for our chief in command, pray that he's led in a way that's right and equal to all people, not just a certain set of people as far as rich or poor. Let's come together. When you say let's make America great again, let's actually make it great. Great meaning equality to everyone involved, all of us Americans, not just a set group of people. Let's be pleasing in God's sight. Let's do what Jesus would do. Let's be what we are supposed to be, and that's equal human beings. Thank you.